G'day, how's it going? I thought I might just create a little bit of video about just talking about what's happening. I know around the world at the moment we have this energy war, especially over at the Middle East. So this is really just energy war, I would say, and then hopefully maybe what I would say, maybe the start of a change of powers here, as we've been predicted under the global thing. So we'll see how that runs off. I would say this is what I would say is probably World War III. It's kind of fought very differently, isn't it, compared to what the World War II was. I'll tell mate, we've got a lot of deception. That's normal out of war, but now it's more drones and then trades, all that side of things has really been kind of, it's really interesting to see what happens. I'm not saying it's great, I'm just saying it's a bit of a thing that's a bit of a surprise, but I've actually managed to, surprisingly for me, I've actually been lucky off from this because I did have change to an EV, got an extra EV car, which was, as you probably noticed, way back in December, as that was something I was progressively, just because of my lifestyle, that was a logical sense for me to get an EV. Now, since then I was getting paid out, like a few people paying me out why I got an EV back then, but now I think, what do you say? Someone's laughing, that's quoted me, as everyone now is moving over thinking about. I've actually got about 4 friends who are actually now looking into EVs. Actually, I think about 3 of them purchased them, and they had asked me questions about the EVs. But look, I think it's been a great sort of idea of moving towards, pushing towards the future of EVs. As I knew at the moment, I wouldn't say I believe EVs are the thing. I actually think hydrogen cars are actually the next, really the final step, but then you need that sort of to run on some sort of energy, so that's more of a fuel source, but really you need the actual mechanics of the EV to actually be able to power the actual car, or in which like kinetic energy move the car itself. So we need EVs, as I thought this was a stepping stone anyway, but the final fuel source, I thought it was going to be more of a hydrogen base, rather than try and use whatever energy it is. So it is drawing power, but if you've got renewable energy, that's really fantastic to see. But anyway, I thought after like about, what I would say, about 4 months of using the Tesla, especially the FSD here, that's been quite a nice, really nice, and until this day I think I'm nearly going just past 5,000 kilometers on the Tesla, and I would have to say again, like to my friends, around 96% of that 5,000 it's been running on FSD. I absolutely love FSD. It's been fantastic, really makes the commute or anywhere, going to anywhere, just a joy. I actually get, what I'll say, I swap in and out of FSD so quickly. Like most times I'll just get out of the garage or out of the car park, within probably, you would say, after like 10 seconds I'm into FSD, going to its destination itself. So that's been weird. I think some of the things that surprised me from these last 4 months is, one I would say is that it actually can work out bus lanes. Now bus lanes itself, especially when it creates it on bus lane, and I actually had this happen yesterday where there was a lane which was on the left lane and it became into basically made itself into a bus lane, and the FSD automatically merged to the middle lane, and that was really nice to see that I didn't have to do anything. It just kind of worked itself out that it was being merged into the middle lane as the left lane became a bus lane itself. So that's kind of good. Now I also have, I know one of the comments from our previous video, that has it worked out indication of like buses on it. Actually it actually does know that it's a bus, and it will give way and stop, letting the bus come in its path in front of it, and let the basically give way to the bus stops as it's coming out of either a bus stop or going, well of course going into a bus, and won't slow down as normal as being the vehicle behind, but having a bus in front of you and it's coming out of a bus, or I would say bus stop itself, and in coming out, and it will give way to it. So that does one happen. I think shortcomings of it so far has been, I would say, roundabouts. I wouldn't say it's bad, I would say it's slower than what you would normally drive it at. I think it's been precautioned, especially on the tighter roundabouts. I find the tighter roundabouts, it is slower than all, but if it's a big, like medium size or big roundabout, it has no problems at all. And it's more of the tighter roundabouts where it's just gotta have, trying to like take care of itself, try not to scuff any of the wheels. I think a human drives a lot faster than that. I think over time you see it probably improve a lot more. I think also the other ones I found that's quirky, so I'm just holding this camera here. One of the quirky ones is where you have a very tight on one of the streets I actually drive in, is it comes in tightly and it comes around left or comes to right and then sharply turns to the other section, and it's just got a little island at the end of it before it hits the T section, right? And it just hasn't worked itself out to stick to the left lane, and because it's got no lanes to work on, as there's a very small street that has no lane markings, but it kind of doesn't want to stay on the left, and goes on the right hand side of the road and try and turns right. That's when I've seen it catch out as well. But else it's been pretty good. Like I've actually had when an unmarked, not mapped car park, and normally with the map park you kind of drive in manual, but I've had where there is a car park and I've been in a multi-story car park and I kind of got lazy, let's see how it goes, and I pressed my FSD and guess what, it actually followed the car in front of me all the way to the exit, and I was like very surprised by that. I didn't have to make anything. He went down multi-stories through the ramps and then followed the car all the way to the exit as the other car made its way to exit. I'm guessing it probably sees the exit signs and try and works its way out. But I have noticed one thing though, these days we've got like automatic boom gates. The automatic boom gates, it doesn't really it doesn't sit well with it yet. I think that's one of the kryptonites. I'm going to just give it a little bit more buzz, but every time I've been scared as it's kind of edging toward to more than my comfort itself. But else it's done pretty good there. Now, as for the people who are actually looking for EVs, my advice is that Tesla itself, if you don't get FSD, it's still a decent car. Like I've had for 4 months, and I've got to say, driving it manually, it's been good. It's like a nice in between of a very comfort, but also a very sporty sort of SUV sort of style car. I do love the dash cam, the symmetry mode. That's fantastic. I haven't even looked at the actual statistics. Probably because of the symmetry mode, where the cameras can record. I don't know if you disable that. I would actually enable it all the time. I don't enable it in house because I probably could, with charging so cheap for home charging, you can just leave it on all the time. Back then I wasn't charging home, now I am, so maybe I'll just leave it on all the time so it actually records. But else, the recording of while it's parked has been fantastic, even with, when you're driving and it records all any accidents all around you, and basically can record any time itself. I think that also helps lowers the thefts in Tesla itself. But else, I think that's the only thing I can't, but besides that, it's just generally a semi-decent car that does have a lot of shortcomings though. Shortcomings is I do love to see a HUD in front of the center console, as I don't drive the car much, as I said, FSC, but if it had some sort of idea, I just don't like the idea of looking to the left by sides. I know people I've talked to have got used to it, but I don't really like it. I rather have it in the front. I think that someone's trying to make a HUD for it, which would be good. The head-up display, sorry. But I think that would be fantastic if it had that. That's one of the big shortcomings as a driver for itself. I find the suspension either has been improved. I still find for the back, I've been told it still is a bit hard on that. Now, of course, the front, I wish that was automated. That's one thing. Oh, that really annoys the crap out of me. To a point it's barely used, the actual front itself, and also the roof, the sunroof. They really should have, especially here in Australia, it is hot and it can get very hot. They should actually have an automatic sort of sunroof to keep it closed and stuff like that. I actually have now modified it. I should actually show you guys what we did. We've got a manual one to help it out, and that's been fantastic, but really this should be built into it. It's just two things that these three are my biggest gripe about the Tesla itself. So they're the things that I'll probably, if you had to drive the car manually, I'll actually be definitely looking into another car. I know the Zeeker's been doing well, so anyway, that's just my thoughts, and I'll just continue after this, maybe a little thoughts and series on how I go with the EVs and like. But till then, I hope you guys stay safe and try and survive through all this. I am like kind of stockpiling a lot of stuff, as I know here in Australia they've been the government saying, nah, we've got no problems at all. But yeah, I think we kind of know we're in an energy shortage in a way that's going to, and it will hit us when it hit us. Will hit us very hard. But till then, I'll catch you guys later. See ya.